This is the new Nitro-Weld plastic welding system from H&S Auto Shot. Part number is UNI 8100. This plastic welding system from H&S Auto Shot features three main exclusives in the industry. Number one, this machine makes its own air. It has a built-in air compressor. So there's no need for an air hose or tying up any of your air lines in your shop. Number two, exclusive, is this machine features an iron and stapler that's all one tool, and we can also flow nitrogen to the knife to create a contaminant-free shielded repair on our reflowing. You know, you can see here the right side of this tool is the staple and iron side, comes with the machine, and the left side is our welding side. The third exclusive from H&S Auto Shot is that we're actually including a bottle, an 80 cubic feet bottle. It's not filled, so it is empty. It will need to be exchanged or filled at your local gas supplier. But there is a DOT regulated 80 cubic foot bottle included with your purchase. Also included with your purchase, besides the machine itself and the torches, both for welding and for reflow and staple, is a heavy duty machine cart with a nice drawer to keep your goodies. You're also going to receive some starter accessories in this little accessory box. So there's going to be starter plastics, polypropylene, polyethylene, and ABS starter plastics, and then 100 of each of the 4 different styles of staples, inside corner, outside corner. You're also going to get some additional knife for your reflow capabilities and some additional nozzles to put on the end of your welding torch. So also included is a roll of aluminum tape and a hand seamer. So really everything you need for your plastic repair job, whether it's bumpers or tabs. The great thing about nitrogen plastic welding is with nitrogen we take the air or oxygen out of the weld, creating a much stronger weld joint than if we were to not use nitrogen. So that's one of the main benefits of using a nitrogen plastic welder. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the machine on. This machine is 110, 115 volt common shop power and has a nice plug on it there for 110. I'm going to go ahead and turn the machine on in the back. And this machine really is a 3-position machine, and I'll tell you why. So right now you can see there's a green light that says heating off. Now this middle button here between gas and iron is the button I'm going to press to go between the 2 different sides. So the first side always is going to be the welding side. So what I'm going to want to do is I'm going to tap this blue button in between gas and iron, and you can hear a little audible tone. It's not real noisy, but now the air compressor is engaged and is on. So now I'm starting to preheat my welding torch for nitrogen welding. So I'm going to go ahead and holster this back in its home. You can see below here are my temperature adjustments. I'm going to go ahead and turn it up to the highest setting or to a pretty high setting. There is a temperature range of 400 to 950 degrees based on this dial, so you can adjust your heat settings. But what I'm going to want to do is go ahead and get this air compressor on and the heating element. So we see the heating light on here, which means I'm starting to preheat my torch. Now I'm going to start getting my plastic ready, getting my bumper ready, whatever I'm working with ready for repair, so that when I'm ready to work, my element is hot and I can quickly press this button here, this blue button between air and N2, which will activate my nitrogen tank. Now the machine also includes a regulator and a hose to go along with your bottle. So we've got everything set up and ready to go. So let's say as an example and simulate we're ready to repair, I'm going to hit this N2 button. Now there is a little bit of bleed off, and what I mean by that is the compressor is going to run for about 10 seconds while the nitrogen is flowing. So when the compressor shuts off, all I'm left with is nitrogen. And right now you can see these 2 lights blinking. It's basically locked out. My heating light is turned off, and what this illustrates to me is that my working pressure with my regulator is too low. So I'm going to go ahead and adjust this. And every machine is going to be a little different, but the sweet spot's between 32 and 42 cubic feet per hour of where this machine will really sing. So I'm continuing to turn my nitrogen up. I turned it down on purpose. Okay, now you see those lights are not blinking anymore, and I've got a heating light on and nitrogen flowing. So now I've adjusted my machine where the pressure is right, and now I'm ready to weld with nitrogen. If for any reason we're on the nitrogen mode and those lights blink, that heating element will turn off. It's locking it out, saying my flow is too low. So I'm going to go ahead and adjust my regulator accordingly until this heating light turns back on, and I'm ready to go. Now, there will be subsequent videos from here talking about applications and actually doing some welding on plastic, but this is the gist of working through the nitrogen side of the repair. And again, my gas nozzle is ready to go. It's nice and warm. I'm going to go ahead and use this torch to do my work. Now, when I'm done, I'm going to holster this back in its home. And let's say I wanted to go over to the staple or the iron side. I'm going to simply press this button, and when I'm done with the nitrogen, I can press the air button, press that blue button again to go over to air. Now, this way I'm not wasting nitrogen. And now my compressor's running, just heating this element over here. Now, if I want to go to the iron side, I'm going to tap this blue button between gas and iron, and you can see the iron light lights up. Now I've activated the right side of this machine, and you can see there's a built-in LED light on this torch to show me that this side is operation as well. Now, I've got a couple different features over here. I've got nitrogen on and off, and I've got a low and a high power setting. So you can toggle between low and high power by simply pressing the blue button between low and high power. You can use the reflow in either of these modes, and you can use a staple in either of these modes. Right now I have the iron side on, and I do have a little trigger switch right here, and I'm on high power. So right now, and I'm also showing this machine has nitrogen off. I'm going to go ahead and hold this black button down, the trigger, and when the trigger has to be depressed for me to make this element heat up. You can see after about 4 or 5 seconds, the end of this knife blade is going to glow cherry red. So again, if I want less heat, I can just lay off the trigger. It's still going to retain heat for a little while, but if I want constant heat, I'm going to have to always depress that trigger. And I've got my reflow. I can reflow. I can shape my plastics, things like that with this knife. And then if I want to go between low and high power, you can see I can just toggle the blue button, low or high power. Now if I want nitrogen to flow with this knife blade, I can press the blue button between N2 off and N2 on. The N2 button will light up, and then when I press the trigger, not only will I get heat, but I will get nitrogen to flow right in between these blades and provide a shielded repair on the reflow side. So again, and then if I press the main gas and iron button again, now my heating is off. Everything is off at this point. If I press that again, I'm back on the left side. So we can toggle through by pressing this blue button. So again, this is just some general orientation of our Nitro-Weld plastic welding system from H&S Auto Shop.